got Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch 2 patent design that I'm not very convinced is real.
It looks so placeholder, right? It looks like the most vanilla handheld console in the history of like console designs.
I don't know. I found this news yesterday, and if you've been following along with the show or any of the Nintendo's next generation console news, we have been constantly talking about it. There's been leaks coming out from, what was it, the FTC investigation into the Microsoft Activision Blizzard merger. Is that correct?
Yeah, and there's also Gamescom a few months ago was where there was like a massive thing where people were apparently, developers were showcased a version of the hardware.
And what we learned from those two stories was that Nintendo's Switch 2, that's a placeholder name, let's just say next gen console, will be powered by an Ampere-based NVIDIA chip that will come with support for DLSS and making the performance comparable to the PS4 and Xbox One. But now we're seeing this weird patent that was filed in 2022 and published in October 2023 has given some insight into what the new console could look like design-wise. Now, what do you think about this? I think it looks bizarre.
I don't know like how it's a patent because it's just there's like so for those who are listening, so it's just a rectangle handheld, right? Like the Switch in handheld mode, except no detachable Joy-Cons. Just a analog stick on the left-hand side, so no D-pad, no capture button or anything like that. And then on the right-hand side, you just got 4 face buttons. So it's so minimal that I don't know like why they filed a patent for it. Like there's shoulder buttons on the top, but like it just rearranges and puts media buttons on the bottom of the device.
It has one joystick.
Mm.
I don't think this is real.
On the right-hand side, yeah.
It was reported on by Game Rant and WCCF Tech, and I thought it was interesting, but I put a disclaimer at the bottom of my article saying that just because companies file patents doesn't necessarily reflect what the company is actually working on. Like these types of patents come out all the time where it's just like a crazy design. The amount of stories I've done on what Tesla has filed patents for, like new steering wheel designs, new sensors for their windshield, like all of these specific technologies, and then they're never implemented. They're just like, oh, that's a good idea, we should secure that. But
yeah, with this one,
this is bizarre. This has one joystick, and they swapped the volume rocker with the power button, and
they put all that on the bottom, and maybe that's what the patent's about, is like moving those controls to the bottom, so the top half of the thing is just like a generic design that's got nothing to do with it. That's what I think.
It feels like a step backwards. This doesn't feel like the next gen Switch.
No, like for surely the next gen Switch is gonna have the Joy-Con setup.
This feels like a Wish version of a Nintendo Switch Lite.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it's what it kind of looks like. It's basically a Switch Lite. Maybe, I don't know, like let's say that it's an all-in-one. There's no detachable controllers, and so then the dock comes with its own handheld controller, maybe, and so they don't do the Joy-Cons, but that seems weird because the Joy-Con system
is awesome
so much. Like, like one pair of Joy-Cons can become 2 controllers for Mario Kart. Like, I don't think they're going to like go backwards from that.
I don't think they're going to abandon Joy-Cons either. I think they're great.
Yeah.
Maybe this became the Joy-Con.
Yep. Maybe you get 2 of these and they join up somehow.
I don't know. I don't know what this is. This just surfaced online, and there's not much really more to say about it besides it looks weird, and I don't think it's real.
Yeah, unless like it's basically like a Switch 0.5 instead of a Switch 2. It looks like a step backwards.
It
so
does.
If this is what the Switch 2 is, then it's. I mean, we're kind of like we all kind of like picturing what we think the Switch 2 is going to be, right? With DLSS and based on the original Switch, we don't think it's going to be much of a departure in terms of look and feel outside of performance, right? So like that's the main thing, is that it's going to be a DLSS powered Switch that can do way better visuals, and it's going to compete to some degree with not with PS5 and Xbox Series X on the high end, but like be able to deliver stuff like Call of Duty, like the latest Call of Duty games and whatever, like Diablo 4 will come to the Switch 2 and stuff like that. But like, like with this sort of design, it's such a departure. But if you look at the history of Nintendo, right? So when Nintendo announced the Wii, people were like, what the hell is this? It's a remote control.
Yeah.
The Wiimote, right? And then the Wii U was like, what is this? Like a Nintendo DS? Like you're just holding a tablet? And then the Switch, they were like, it was like Joy-Cons, and like Nintendo always do something different.
Yeah, but
and not what you
just
expect.
to stop you there, the Wii U is clearly like a predecessor to the Switch. So like they knew that the Wii U was like, this is where it needs to be, and then the Wii U kind of stank at doing that. But then their next version of that was the Switch, and that is one of their most popular consoles ever released.
So, yeah, so I guess my point is that like Nintendo playing it safe is not what they do, but maybe they will this time, because that's the expectation. But like, I don't know. Like, I think there's going to be something about the Switch 2 that'll be radically different. But I don't think the radically different is creating a generic basic bitch console like this.
This is the type of console that I would build. Like if you gave me the components, I would give you that design, that blueprint that we're looking at right now. I mean, just for the audio listeners, go to the YouTube to look at it, because it is the most. It's what like it's what like a toddler.
You know what it looks like? It looks like a console in like a Pixar movie, or like, you know, some like, you know, in like a cartoon or whatever, where they don't actually show an actual. It's just like it's just a game console, right? Generic game console.
Yeah. It's just a big handheld, like an alien in like a whatever type of movie, like an alien child is just playing on this, like if from Rick and Morty or whatever. It's just playing on a generic console. Yeah, it's what I would build if you gave me the components. Yeah, there's not much else we can say about that besides keep your eye out for more Nintendo Switch 2 news, and maybe disregard this patent. And if it turns out to be true and Nintendo releases this thing, clip this up and laugh, and we can laugh at each other. We can laugh at me making bad calls.
Oh yeah, because it turns out to be amazing because it's Nintendo.
Yeah, somehow they've made one joystick just the best joystick.
Buttons. Yeah. It's just like, well, this is the way it should be.
It's got haptics. Makes
Don't
my
need
thumb.
two analog sticks.
It makes my thumb vibrate.